I did my presentation on Gina. You can go to the next slide, sorry. She is a Black woman landscape photographer. I recently found her on Instagram a couple weeks ago. And so how she started was she was from the Northeast, I guess lived in kind of like a city area and was working a corporate job, like kind of 9 to 5. And she realized it wasn't really like feeding her soul, like what she wanted to do. So she chose to pack up all of her stuff and move out to Arizona and chase her dreams of being a Black artist, of a landscape photographer. And so her main point through her posts and stuff is that from the quote for her, is that she's trying to inspire the Black youth and just show them that they have the abilities to make their dreams come true and chase them, and that just because they are a Black person in a creative environment that usually is dominated by white people, that it's not completely impossible. And so she kind of wants to be that role model for them. And also through her posts, she mainly focuses on what it is to be a Black woman, but also a Black woman within that creative space that's surrounded by white people. A lot of her posts are inspirational, and she kind of just tackles the issues of things that she's gone through in her past and brings a light to them, and kind of provides resources and just shows people that like there's more to life like than what some talk about. She's also kind of, in some of her posts, she's shed a light on how people in her like Instagram DMs and stuff, they try to correct her as a Black woman and tell her to fit within this white space. And so a lot of her posts, when she's showing like the nature and the landscapes that she's able to do, she addresses the fact that she's not trying to be like her white colleagues. She is trying to be authentically herself, which is a Black woman that has to face hardships and that has to face racism on a daily basis and be creative within a space that tries to limit who she is allowed to be and who she feels as though she is. You can go to the next slide. So I chose 6 different photographs. There's these 3 and then the next 3. And the first 3 I chose are on a warmer tone. And I chose them because I really feel like I can see myself within her work. And I really identify with it because I love doing landscape photography. It's a way to celebrate the earth and our world that we're allowed and have the permission to live within. And the way she photographs it, I feel as though is how I see the world when I'm out in nature and how I connect with it. It's very ethereal and it's very inviting and captivating, and it kind of just like pulls you in. And so a lot of these were close, intimate details, and then she has some double exposures, and then her editing style just is very inviting and allows you to kind of just feel the photograph itself. The next 3 I chose are completely different. They're on the cooler spectrum. And these were just kind of to celebrate like the intimate details, especially within the first photo. The middle photo was interesting because she's from the Northeast and she talks about how much she hates the snow, but she was able to find a way to celebrate it living in Arizona because it looks completely different. And then the third photograph was actually interesting because she doesn't know how to do astrophotography, but she Googled it, found a YouTube video, and that was her first image that she made, just in an attempt of trying to figure out how to go about navigating astrophotography like on her own. And so I identified with that because there's a lot of things that I want to learn. And so rather than trying to wait around for someone to teach me, that photo and like her post and what she said along with it was kind of like, you can't just sit around and wait for people to do it for you. You have to do it yourself. And if you start doing it yourself, when you run into people that know how to do it, as long as you have that foundational knowledge, you'll be able to build upon it. But if you depend on them to tell you every step of the way, you're going to continue to just be lost. And so I found myself within her a lot in her work.